Hello, I'm Bill Doty, Executive Vice President of Vectren Corporation. Vectren has always considered safety our first priority, not only the safety of our employees, but the safety of contractors working on our job sites and the safety of the public at large. We believe it's paramount in meeting our objective of providing safe, reliable energy to the people we serve. Your employer has established safe work practices for your protection as well as the protection of coworkers and Vectren employees. It is important that you follow the safety practices established by your employers and by Vectren for this job site, and we expect you and all other contractors to abide by them. Watch the following video carefully. It outlines some of Vectren's safe work practices that you're expected to follow. If you're not sure of the safe work practices to follow, ask your supervisor or the Vectren representative for assistance. Remember, don't take shortcuts when it comes to safety. No job is so important and no service is so urgent that we can't take time to perform our work safely. We all have loved ones and friends that we enjoy seeing and who enjoy seeing us healthy and happy. Your family and friends are counting on you to come home safe and free from harm. Please don't let them down. Thank you for your attention, and remember to work safely.
Every day throughout the U.S., millions of lives hang in the balance as our workers expose themselves to serious workplace risks. From the obvious threats to the all-too-often overlooked work hazards, there's one common thread that binds the hard-working men and women who face those risks together: the importance of safety compliance. Workplace safety is a subject that cannot be taken for granted, and at Vectren will not be taken lightly. The contractor rules provided in this program do not replace your existing safety and health programs. Rather, they serve to enhance the safety measures that are already in place. Even more importantly, they serve to protect you. Be assured that contractors who do not follow Vectren's established safety rules will be reported to the contractor representative and subject to discipline that could result in their removal from the job site. While on our site, we want your visit to be a safe and healthy one. While working for Vectren, you must comply with all federal and state regulations and Vectren safety rules that apply to the work being performed. Vectren recommends that contractors conduct and document, including listing the employees' names, pre-job briefings with employees under their control prior to work each day. Additional job briefings shall be held if significant changes occur during the course of the work that might affect the safety of the employees. The pre-job briefing should address the hazards associated with the job, work procedures utilized to mitigate those hazards, special precautions, PPE required, and energy source controls. All PPE worn on Vectren job sites must have ANSI and/or ASTM approval ratings. Contractors must also ensure that the following rules and/or requirements are enforced for employees working under their jurisdiction. While conducting construction work for Vectren, hard hats shall be worn at all times on the job site. Safety glasses shall be worn at all times while on construction job sites, lighting of appliances, and during any other eye-hazardous work you might perform. Face shields must be utilized during any grinding activities, and hearing protection must be used when operating chipping guns, air tools, or any other equipment that produces noise levels over 85 dBA. Anytime work is being performed on or near gas lines, meter sets, regulator stations, or where natural gas might exist, flame retardant and/or 100% cotton clothing must be worn. Work gloves shall be worn whenever handling tools, equipment, and materials. Appropriate safety shoes designed to meet the safety needs of any job site hazards to which you could be assigned are required. Footwear requirements include safety-toed shoes that meet ANSI Z41 standards and have a minimum of at least a 6-inch leather upper for construction activities. Contractor employees who utilize respiratory protection must meet the requirements of OSHA Standard 29 CFR 1910.134 before utilizing an SCBA or any other respirator. This includes training, medical surveillance, and fit testing. If you're working within 15 feet of any public roadway or around construction equipment, the appropriate high-visibility traffic vest must be worn. The requirements spelled out in the MUTCD must be adhered to at all times. Make sure that all PPE is appropriate for any hazards that are present. In the event of pipeline condensate release, every attempt should be made to stop the potential contaminant from entering water, such as sewers, drainage swales, ponds, etc. You should also make every attempt to keep the release from spreading any further than it already has. All environmental releases are to be reported to the Vectren contractor representative as soon as possible. Coal tar wrap is a protective covering bonded onto natural gas pipe. This material may contain asbestos fibers bound in the tar-like matrix. The asbestos fibers are bound and are not released by mere hand pressure. Any removal or intentional disturbance of these materials shall be performed by trained personnel and only while utilizing wet methods or other acceptable means. In addition to coal tar pipe wrap, all unsampled pre-1980 valve gaskets and packing material will be managed as presumed asbestos-containing material, or PACM. The contractor may not remove, disturb, or contact any thermal systems, insulation, or surfacing material without prior authorization. Report any damaged suspect material to the Vectren contractor representative immediately. Only those contractors who are properly certified and specifically contracted by Vectren to remove, disturb, or contact ACM are authorized by Vectren to perform such work. Mercaptan odorants are non-toxic in natural gas in concentrations normally employed for odorizing. With respect to toxicity, the odorants constitute a far less hazard than the concentration of gas in which they are present. Contractors should review the Material Safety Data Sheet, or MSDS, before handling. Contractors may not disturb known or suspected lead-containing materials. When these materials are encountered and could potentially be disturbed by the work being performed, work must be stopped immediately and the contractor representative must be notified. Facility structures, structural components, and equipment may contain lead or PB-based surface coatings and substrates. Unless otherwise determined through objective data and/or analytical data, all surface coatings and substrates must be considered lead-containing. Working on or with lead-based surface coatings and/or substrates requires special precautions. When performing construction-type work and activities as defined by OSHA, contractors must comply with OSHA 29 CFR 1926.62 and comply with Vectren rules regarding lead. The contractor shall ensure that any lead-containing waste is disposed of in accordance with all federal, state, local, and Vectren requirements. Hazardous waste and special waste generated by the contractor while on Vectren property shall not be removed and/or disposed of by the contractor until directed to do so by the Vectren contractor representative. Vectren procedures and DOT requirements shall be followed at all times. Vectren reserves the right to review and approve procedures used by the contractor to remove and dispose of hazardous and/or special waste. The contractor shall also report any spill or release of a hazardous chemical, substance, or waste that has occurred at a Vectren facility or worksite immediately to the Vectren contractor representative. The contractor must have a material safety data sheet for any product they're using readily available. The MSDS should be reviewed before working with any unfamiliar chemical. All chemicals must be properly labeled. To review any MSDS for any Vectren product, please contact your Vectren contractor representative or contact 3E at 800-451-8346 and provide the operator with the product name, number, manufacturer, and UPC code if available. Incidents requiring medical attention, property damage, and significant near misses should be reported to the Vectren contractor representative immediately. The contractor will provide a copy of the incident investigation upon completion. As a contractor, you should always work in a safe manner. Accept responsibility and accountability for your own safety while performing work for Vectren. Watch out for the safety of coworkers and others entering the work area. Have the working knowledge of all applicable safety and health policies set forth by your company and Vectren. Correct recognized unsafe actions and conditions immediately. Inspect job sites for safety hazards and non-compliance issues and take appropriate corrective actions. Perform inspections on tools and equipment before use. Use them correctly and remove them from service if defective. Maintain a clean and orderly site. Any contractor's employee who appears unable to perform his or her job in a safe manner or exhibits any type of behavior inappropriate for the workplace, including horseplay, will be reported to the employee supervisor for evaluation and possible removal from the site. Vectren will not tolerate at any time any conduct that threatens, intimidates, or coerces any Vectren employee, other contractor, or any member of the public. While performing work on or visiting Vectren work sites and/or facilities, Vectren policy prohibits you from consuming or possessing alcohol or unauthorized drugs, reporting to perform work for Vectren while under the influence of drugs or alcohol, or performing work that involves operating heavy equipment or working at elevations when using prescribed medication that can cause drowsiness or otherwise impairs your ability to perform the work in a safe manner. All contractors performing work at or visiting a Vectren facility must comply with the guidance set forth in the Vectren Substance Abuse Program for contractors. Failure to comply with the program will result in removal from the site and banning from working on or at current or future projects or contracts. Vectren policy strictly prohibits firearms and other weapons on Vectren property and on Vectren-controlled work sites at all times. Violence is prohibited at Vectren work sites. If you experience an irate, threatening, or violent customer during your work at Vectren, please report this to your Vectren representative immediately. Always practice safety first when working in a gaseous atmosphere. A gaseous atmosphere is defined by the company as any mixture of natural gas and air which envelops or has the potential to envelop and create a hazardous atmosphere for anyone in the immediate area. Before performing activities in a gaseous atmosphere, determine if the site can be maintained in a safe manner without creating a safety hazard. For example, spark-producing tools, light switches, cell phones, etc. Note, only Class 1 Division 1 lights or better shall be used in a gaseous atmosphere. In the presence of a gaseous atmosphere, all persons must wear flash gear in the immediate work area of activities involved with repairing damage to or leaks on gas distribution facilities. Always remember that conditions can change. Therefore, if you're not already wearing the flash gear, continually monitor the conditions and reassess the need to wear it. If you're unsure whether wearing flash gear is warranted, play it safe and wear it. Personnel expected to enter a gaseous atmosphere or be present in the immediate work area of activities involved with repairing damage to or leaks on underground facilities are recommended to wear only natural fibers, such as cotton or wool, under your flash gear. The possibility of a fire is always present when working with gas. For this reason, you must always be prepared by taking appropriate precautions. Portable fire extinguishers must be mounted and located so that they're readily accessible. They must never be obstructed by equipment, trash, or other obstacles. If you use an extinguisher or it is not fully charged, it should be replaced or recharged immediately. Good housekeeping practices must be followed at all times to help prevent the accumulation of trash, which may become a fire or trip hazard. In the event that you must use a portable fire extinguisher, the word PASS can help you remember how to use it. PASS stands for pull, aim, squeeze, and sweep. Pull the pin, aim at the base of the fire, squeeze the trigger, sweep from side to side. When traffic control is necessary, the contractor shall use appropriate control devices to address the specific situation present. The installation of those devices shall follow applicable OSHA, DOT, and Manual of Uniform Traffic Control Devices regulations. The contractor is responsible for the cost of providing traffic vests, signs, cones, flashing arrow signs, and any other equipment necessary to provide a safe work zone. When using hand tools, take time to inspect them for danger before use. Replace if necessary. And always use the correct tool for the job. Tools with sharp edges and points shall be stored in a safe and secure manner. Such tools shall be carried in appropriate carrying containers, not in clothing pockets. All tools shall be stored when not in use. Tools shall not be thrown or pitched to another employee. Tools shall never be placed unsecured on elevated places. Tools shall be maintained in safe and good operating condition. When lifting loads is necessary, using proper lifting procedures will help you avoid injury. So when lifting, always face the load you're trying to lift. Find the center of gravity to keep the load balanced. Grasp the load and gain control before making the actual lift. When you set the load down, watch out for pinch points. Gear your activity to your age and physical condition. Use hand grips when entering or leaving a truck. Ergonomics on the job is always an important consideration. Here are some ergonomic requirements. Operate tools and equipment in your power zone when possible. Utilize penetrating oil to loosen seized parts. When building a meter set, utilize anti-seize on the meter nuts. Utilize the proper sized wrench to aid in your mechanical leverage. If an area is posted as dangerous or hazardous, all contractors must receive authorization from the contractor representative before performing work in these areas. Caution or warning tape must be used to signal dangerous areas of hazardous work. Orange barricaded fencing is required for areas such as open trenches. A hard barricade must be used around floor openings, wall openings, or the removal of handrails where someone could potentially fall from one elevation to another. In the event of high water, such as flooding, backwater, etc., situations may arise when emergency gas shutoffs may need to be performed. When practical, the utmost consideration will be given to shutting off the service at accessible locations prior to having contractors enter water by boat or on foot. In these situations, Type 1 or 2 Coast Guard-approved personal flotation devices shall be worn by contractor employees when it's possible that an employee may fall into water and the danger of drowning exists, whether working from a boat, wading in water, or working alongside a body of water. Vectren's lockout-tagout policy is an important safety procedure. The purpose of the lockout-tagout policy is to prevent the unexpected or unwanted activation of equipment or processes during activities such as maintenance, servicing, adjusting, etc., that could result in injury or property damage. Lockout-tagout is fully implemented when all energy sources for a particular process, system, or piece of equipment have been isolated and the chance of unwanted or unexpected activation has been eliminated. Please contact your Vectren representative for any lockout issues. The contractor representative, at his discretion, may periodically authorize contractor use of Vectren equipment, provided the contractor employee is qualified and trained in its safe operation. We require all personnel who drive on a Vectren worksite to drive safely. Before operating a commercial motor vehicle, follow the DOT guidelines on pre-post trip inspections. While driving, always follow and obey all posted traffic laws. Be aware of your surroundings. Scan mirrors every 5 to 8 seconds. Leave an extra vehicle length in front of you while stopped at an intersection. If you're operating mobile equipment, you must wear a hard hat and safety glasses, unless the equipment has a fully enclosed cab. Mobile equipment must be equipped with backup alarms whenever possible. When not possible, a spotter must be utilized to ensure the safe movement of equipment. Or an audible alarm, such as a horn, must be sounded whenever the equipment is moved in the reverse direction or in areas where people are present. Areas where lifting is taking place or where suspended loads exist must be appropriately marked with caution tape, do not enter tape, or otherwise effectively managed to prevent people from entering the area. If you're operating a mobile crane, or any other boom-equipped heavy equipment requiring a boom to be extended near electrical lines or equipment, have a qualified employee identify the voltage present and verify the electrical status of the lines or equipment and discuss applicable safe work clearances. Equipment, if provided with outriggers, shall not be operated until all outriggers are fully extended and firmly set as necessary for the stability of the specific configuration of the equipment. When operating cranes, contractors shall follow applicable OSHA regulations and manufacturer's instructions for crane operations. These instructions include, but are not limited to, the following. Only trained and authorized employees shall be permitted to operate cranes. All parties involved must conduct a meeting prior to any critical lift. Rated load capacities, recommended operating speeds, special hazard warnings or instructions shall be conspicuously posted on all cranes. A contractor shall designate a person to observe clearance of the equipment and give timely warning for all operations where it's difficult for the operator to maintain the desired clearance by visual means. All employees shall be kept clear of loads as they are lifted and/or suspended, and taglines shall be used unless their use creates an unsafe condition. Inspect all rigging for defects before use. Ensure that the rigging is properly rated for the intended load. Appoint one member of the crew to act as signalman, and instruct the crane or backhoe operator not to accept signals from anyone else. Be sure your hand is clear of pinch points. It's almost impossible to position the hook exactly over the load center, so watch out for a swing or roll. Anticipate the direction of the swing or roll and work away from it. Never place yourself between material, equipment, or other stationary objects and the load. Never get under a suspended load and keep out from under the crane's boom. When lowering or setting a load, keep your feet and all other parts of your body out from under. Set the load down easily and slowly. A confined space has limited openings for entry or exit, is large enough for entering and working, and is not designed for continuous worker occupancy. Confined spaces include underground vaults, tanks, storage bins, manholes, pits, silos, underground utility vaults, and pipelines. Do not enter permit-required confined spaces without being trained and without having a permit to enter. Review, understand, and follow your employer's procedures before entering permit-required confined spaces. Follow OSHA Standards 1910.146 for permit-required confined space entry. Contractors will implement a fall management plan that ensures 100% fall protection for employees working at elevations of 4 feet or greater for unguarded walking working surfaces as defined by 29 CFR 1910.23 and for 6 feet or greater for employees working on unguarded scaffolding, steel erection, or any unguarded work location. The use of body belts is prohibited on Vectren work sites. A full body harness with a shock-absorbing lanyard is to be used. All fall protection systems must be compatible and limit free fall distances to 6 feet or less. When appropriate, retractable lifelines may be used instead of shock-absorbing lanyards. Only anchorage points meeting the 5,000-pound requirement are to be used. Conduits and handrails are not approved anchorage points. Any questions about a proper anchorage point must be addressed with the contractor representative before proceeding with the scope of work. Contractors must provide a competent person in fall management to address the approval and use of fall protection equipment for their employees. Barricades, railings, or covers removed by the contractor must be replaced by the contractor as soon as possible, and control measures must be put in place to mitigate the hazard. When using ladders, they must all meet OSHA requirements and only be used for the purpose for which they were designed. Ladders must be in good condition, secured, and stable prior to use. Do not exceed the maximum load rating of a ladder. Be aware of the ladder's load rating and of the weight it is supporting, including the weight of any tools or equipment. In the event you must dig at a work site, all utilities must be identified and located before digging begins. Hand digging must be utilized within 2 feet of the gas line. Safety is paramount when working in an excavation. An excavation is defined as any man-made cut, cavity, trench, or depression in an earth surface formed by earth removal. A trench is defined as a narrow excavation in relation to its length made below the surface of the ground. For the purpose of trenching and excavations as regulated by OSHA 29 CFR 1926, Subpart P, Vectren considers all soil types as Type C. Contractors must provide a competent person when performing any trench or excavation work as required by federal and state OSHA standards and Vectren. Requirements for a competent person include, but are not limited to, have thorough knowledge of OSHA Standard 29 CFR 1926 Subpart P. Knowledgeable in the proper use of trench safety equipment. Ability to recognize unsafe conditions, the authority to stop work when unsafe conditions exist, and the ability to abate the unsafe condition. Conduct daily inspection of excavations prior to allowing access into them. Be at the excavation site when employees are performing work activities in the excavation. The operator shall verify that the underground utilities and facilities have been located or spotted before trenching is started. Each employee in a trench 5 feet or greater in depth shall be protected from a cave-in by an adequate protective system. The competent person on site may require protection at a lesser depth if needed. Some of the protective systems for trenches are sloped for stability, 1.5 to 1 for Type C soil. Supported by a system made with posts, beams, shores, or planking and hydraulic jacks. Supported by a trench box to protect workers in a trench. Refer to tabulated data for specific configuration setup. Additionally, excavated or other materials must be at least 2 feet back from the edge of the trench. A safe means of egress shall be provided within 25 feet of workers in a trench. And a ladder or ramp must be in place at a depth of 4 feet. It is also important to note the following additional information. Tabulated data must be on site when shoring, shielding is being utilized. Excavations and protective systems shall be inspected a minimum of once each working day and whenever there is a change of soil, water, or other job site conditions. When sheeting is used, it shall extend to the top of the excavation and to within 2 feet of the bottom of the excavation. The ends of trenches shall be shored or sloped if working in close proximity. For all excavations 4 feet or greater in depth, adequate precautions must be taken to protect personnel where oxygen deficiency or another hazardous atmosphere exists, or could be reasonably expected to exist, such as near landfills and hazardous substance storage areas. And any damaged shoring or trench boxes should not be used. In the event a contractor incurs any emergency situation, including but not limited to serious injury or accident, environmental release, fire, and confined space rescue, call the emergency phone number 911 immediately and inform the Vectren dispatcher at 812-491-4990 as soon as possible, or call 812-491-4000 and ask for the safety department. The contractor is responsible for the health and safety of employees under their control. Contractors and contractors' employees who do not follow these rules are subject to discipline, up to and including removal from the project. Enforcement of these rules, as well as other recognized safety rules, is the responsibility of the contractor. This video is just an overview of the safety rules that you're required to follow. If you have any questions or concerns while conducting work at Vectren, please ask your Vectren contractor representative. Thank you for your time. And remember, there is no job so important and no service so urgent that we cannot take time to perform our work safely.